starts now. Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. We're keeping a close eye on a weather system tracking closer to the bluegrass.
Kind of what we do lately, huh? Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck is here with the potential for a weekend snowfall.
Yeah, the potential for the weekend is certainly there, and it's a much bigger potential in terms of stuff falling compared to what's coming for us tonight. And you see here on our Max track that we are looking at a little band of rain and snow cutting across Ohio, Indiana, back into Illinois. It's beginning to sneak down into southwestern parts of Kentucky. You'll notice it is working its way gradually to the east. It's not a big system at all. It's not going to amount to much, but still, with temperatures dropping to near and below freezing, if stuff starts falling, we could start to see a few slick spots. Now, getting a little closer in for you, might be a little virga just north of Louisville at this point, but still several hours out. Here's the future track. Temperatures running upper 30s. We will watch that stuff begin to move in as we work our way through the next few hours. 10 o'clock, temperatures still above freezing. Mostly light rain, could have a little snow mixed in, a little sleet, maybe a little freezing drizzle, especially on the tail end. So a slick spot again is a possibility. Hours kind of either side of midnight will be the best chance in the Lexington area. Some of that may last into the morning in southeast Kentucky. This is not big at all. The system for the weekend might be a different story. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, Bill, see you then.
2 people have been charged with conspiracy to traffic drugs in Pike County because police say they tried to get drugs into the Pike County Detention Center.
And it's the way police say they did it that even has surprised the jailers. Catherine Collins has the big story at 6.
Giving new meaning to the slogan, "Have it your way."
Nothing seems to surprise me anymore, I guess, but as far as this particular way, it's the first time I've seen it.
Pike Detention Center Lieutenant Chase Snodgrass says yesterday a woman attempted to bring drugs into the jail in a Whopper with no pickles. What's more, he says that woman had help from a Burger King employee. He says this photo shows a bag with orange pills found in the burger. According to a police report, they appear to be Suboxone tablets. Employees here at the jail tell me they were tipped off about a plan to bring in drugs, so they listened to the phone calls, which led them to the suspects.
We was able to find out exactly how they was going to be bringing their drugs into the jail.
Pikeville police arrested June Sloan. They say she came to deliver the food and told police Stella May was the one who put the drugs in the burger. She's also been arrested. I reached out to Sloan, May, and the general manager at the Burger King. They did not want to talk to me for this story.
I mean, addiction is a bad thing. I mean, and they'll put anybody in harm's way to try to get it.
Lieutenant Snodgrass says, unfortunately, people try to sneak drugs into the jail quite often, but they do all they can to stop it. Covering the news in Pike County from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
Snodgrass says 2 people who were already being held in the jail could also face charges in connection with what happened. Hours after Yoder, the police horse, fell into an open utility hole on a Lexington street, Kentucky American Water fixed everything.
Yeah, but people who live in that neighborhood say that hole is not the only one causing a problem. And LEX 18's Carolina Buchek quickly found another.
Step by step, Yoder the police horse recovers and gets better. He luckily made it out of this hole without any broken bones, but his fall into the uncovered utility hole on Tuesday night was a scary one. And neighbors who wanted to stay anonymous told LEX 18 they weren't surprised by the accident. They say the hole had been open for about 3 or 4 months.
It's been like that forever. Can't get them to fix it.
But on Wednesday morning, the hole was filled. Kentucky American Water says it's fixed.
Repair that in a more permanent fashion.
The hole that Yoder fell into right around the corner there, it has been firmly sealed up and it's not moving around at all. But right over here, just about 60 feet away, we found a water meter cover that was partially open, and you can see it is very easy to move this thing and check out how deep that hole is. Others in the area, like this one, are covered but still loose. Kentucky American Water says it shouldn't happen, but it does.
It is possible that between those inspections, or if we're not working in an area, that different things can cause those lids to be removed.
So the water company says the best thing to do is report any loose or open utility covers. Covering the news in Lexington, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
LEX 18 did as the company suggested and reported the loose cover. We were told a crew would come within a day, but it was fixed in just 1 hour.
A daughter comes home from school and tells mom she was given a shot at school. Well, it turns out it's a common practice in several areas, but there are still some questions about one case in particular. Michael Burke has more in part 2 of this LEX 18 Investigates.
When Rachel Hack's daughter came home on Halloween with news that she'd been vaccinated at school, it shocked her. But Dr. Jay Miller of Lincoln County has known about this practice for some time now.
Yeah, we don't doubt they're giving the vaccines, giving them properly, giving them at the right time. That's not an issue.
There are actually a couple of issues, including an alleged falsified consent form. The Cumberland Family Medical Center had their attorney issue a statement to LEX 18, informing us that they're looking into the matter of the alleged forgery. The other issue concerns properly recording each immunization with the Commonwealth.
To be part of the state vaccination program, I think it's a requirement.
CFM claims it's not bypassing anything by entering all of its vaccine information in a timely manner with KYIR. But wellness checks and vaccinations being given at school can obviously hurt Dr. Miller's bottom line. But it could also hurt a family that claims it did not knowingly give consent to vaccinate.
The school may have thought they had permission based on one blanket statement at the start of the year.
Then why the need now to investigate a claim of forgery? Covering the news in Lincoln County, Michael Burke, LEX 18 News.
A source tells LEX 18 that the Healthy Kids Clinic with branches across central Kentucky has stopped giving vaccines at school, at least for the time being. A Fayette County grand jury has refused to indict the Franklin County Sheriff's son on rape and sodomy charges.
According to the arrest citation, the alleged victim said 21-year-old Patrick Melton had sex with her in July in Lexington without her consent. The two then allegedly exchanged text messages about the encounter. With no indictment, those charges have been dismissed. Melton is the son of Franklin County Sheriff Pat Melton. Defense attorneys for the man accused of killing a couple after an apparent dispute over rent are asking a judge to dismiss the case. Craig Pennington was in a Marion County courtroom today. He's charged with the murders of Bobby Jones and Crystal Warner. One of Pennington's attorneys argued that because of the collection of the evidence still being ongoing, there's no way they can be prepared for a trial slated to begin in February. The judge didn't make any rulings on the motion, and both sides are expected to return for a hearing December 19th.
A driver accused in a deadly DUI crash in Lexington in September has been indicted for murder. Police say 57-year-old John Rusnak was on New Circle Road at the stoplight at Woodhill Drive when 33-year-old Dean Carson slammed into the back of his vehicle. Rusnak died at the scene. Carson previously pleaded not guilty to DUI and cocaine possession, but now the grand jury has handed up an indictment for murder. He'll answer to that charge in court tomorrow. As we continue to remember the late President George H.W. Bush, more and more sweet stories emerge.
Tonight, a Paducah, Kentucky woman tells us President Bush was a dear family friend. Claire Kopsky has the story.
That's a good picture.
It all started on a fishing boat on a private pond in Alabama.
That's my son and my husband and George and Ray Scott.
A bond over bass fishing.
One other time he came and just fished with my husband and Ray on Ray's Lake.
Their friendship started while H.W. was the vice president. One time Meredith got to come along and meet George herself.
The women came. Oh yeah, I shook hands with him. In fact, on one of the last tournaments, my grandson had just been born, and we took him along, and he has a picture in his office of George as he is infant.
The friendship continued when he became president with a special invitation to the inauguration in 1989.
So help me God.
It was very moving. It was a very moving event, you know, when that inauguration.
The fishing trips continued even while President Bush was in office.
And Bill was actually fishing with him in the boat, and he said, I've got to go over here to the shore. You let me out just a minute. So we took him over there and let him out and came back and said they've just captured Noriega.
Meredith says they kept in touch over the years through handwritten notes, something that she says was a signature part of who the president was.
A genuine person that loved his country and served his country. Down-to-earth people, you know. And
character traits she won't soon forget. Covering the news in McCracken County, Claire Kopsky, LEX 18 News.
That's a great story.
After seeing someone struggling to stay warm in the cold, a Kentucky State University student took action.
And his effort has far surpassed his expectations. Watch how he's making a difference next on LEX 18 News at 6.